Yesterday we fixed the Saturn LW1 windows. Today we will be going at the door lock. The door lock does not work on the driver's rear door. It works on all the other doors. All of the other doors work with the keyless entry. That one does not work at all, period. No power to the door lock. Every once in a while you will get intermittent loss of the power windows. So I'm thinking something with the harness. Okay, here's a Saturn LW1 door. First thing that you want to do is pry off this little trim piece. Second is this little tweeter cover. That's your tweeter right there, but to the left of that, inside is a screw. Then you go at the side of this panel of the window switch, pry that up. Now comes the window switch. You have to take off this, but there's no screws to detach. You just need to remove the cover from there. And after that, this whole thing just slips right off. That's all there is to it. There is a harness connected here, and I'm guessing that's going to lead up to this. But as long as you disconnect, leave it kind of like that. Pry up this piece that's on the back side of your door handle trim piece, and that's what holds the harness in place. And then you can disconnect the harness there and remove the panel. And find a little trim piece tool. These are only a couple bucks from any autos, and you would like to get nylon because they're soft and they're not going to mar up your surfaces. Start on the bottom and pry up all the way around. Now this side panel is loose all the way around. Somewhat of a clip here. It's held into a little track that runs along the edge, so you might have to use a little bit of, actually a lot of force. Just give it a good lift on that side, but you'll still be stuck over here. So just press your knee up, and then you can kind of walk that off. Here are the clips, and they're just a circle and a little bracket goes on there, and you get your pry tool in here and you pry it off because this top little lip is soft and will pull off. At least that's the theory. It never works like that on older cars. When everything gets brittle, everything starts breaking. For all of you that are unfamiliar with what this is, maybe you can guess. It's just simply a vapor barrier. And as you can see, this vapor barrier on the top here is completely coming loose, which means that this has had work done before. Someone took it off, and I can tell that this is dirty back in here. Someone did not seal this back correctly. They just kind of stuck it up like that and then put the door back on and said, hey, that's it, let's call it a day. So what you do is take off this vapor barrier. It sucks, but you got to do it. Be real careful. Undo only as much as you need to get back in there. On this, you'll probably need access to here and this area here, which is a big one, so that you can get your hands back in there and start pulling out harnesses and checking for shorts. Now if you want to get the speakers out, now is a good time to do that. Just this little harness was a pain to come out. I put a screwdriver down on each side and pried it a little bit each way. This thing was really stuck in there. Well, I started checking for continuity on a couple of the switches, and it seems like everything kind of checks out. Sometimes this is a really weird random issue. The back window will sometimes roll down and sometimes it won't. But it won't roll down. Now we close the door just a little bit until it hits that first hinge. Now it goes down and up, which makes me think that there's some kind of wire getting pinched, causing a short. Probably a break in a wiring somewhere. No, it's not a safety feature or anything like that. I already tested the other side. The other side works fine, and I have no daylight, getting eaten by mosquitoes, so I'm going to call it a day. I'm back the next day, and I took out the fuse panel, checking all the wiring all the way up from here. Follow the wiring best I could, just taking a look at the harness under there. The likelihood for any breaks to happen under there is very low. The most likely area for brakes will be in the door jamb. When the door was half closed, the window switch would work. When it was full open, it wasn't. My thought of it getting pinched was correct. It did get pinched. Sorry, actually, it's from in there. You can see how tight that space is, so it took me a while to get that. So, once I finally did get it out, started peeling back this, and all the wires look like they're pretty good, and I was like, oh shit, now what? So I started winding this up, and voila, there you go. And I don't even have to guess, I am fairly certain those go to the power door locks. Oh, crap, I don't think I can take that pin out. No, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna have to splice it. It's not the right way to do it. So we'll just go from here and see what I can do. Which isn't going to be much. It's going to be a real nasty splice. Okay, I can't pull this back over itself. These grommets are too tight. So what I did was stuff this back in there, and that should provide me with a little bit of room to work for these splices. Okay, this is what we are going to do for the splice. You fan these out, you fan the other side out, you kind of mesh them together and then twist, so that they're meshed together and twisted. I'm going to put on some liquid electrical tape. It comes in this can brush. It's a brush top. Slather that on there for a little bit. Only takes about 5 minutes to cure. Cures to rubber, which is really neat. Put on some electrical tape over that. Mash it all in there. Reconnect it. I checked the Haynes manual, wrote down a list of the colors and what they power, and as you can see we have a green, and we'll just call that tan. So we go to, let's just say, dark green window switch, which explains why the window switch was intermittently working, and tan door lock actuator. So tan will probably be either the power or the ground, one of those. Either way, it's going to interrupt that circuit. So I expect the door lock actuator to work, as well as get rid of the intermittent window switch. Okay, I spliced the harness back together and reconnected it. Now we'll try the unlock. Let's see, here's lock, unlock, all unlock. You have to press the twice to unlock all the buttons. And this was the one that was not working. Now it's working. So that's another successful repair. And then I'll just button everything back up, put all the panels back in, and she's good to go. Now she's got all of her power door locks working and her window controls working. We're done.